In life, whether it is friendship, love, or work relationships, trust is the decisive factor for us to be able to open up, share our deepest feelings, and seek help from each other. Without trust, we cannot have sincere communication, cannot have intimate connections, and of course, respect or trust with each other will also become fragile. In reality, not all relationships bring positive things. Some people can make us better, but there are also people who drag us down, make us feel backward and negative. In this modern world, where a smile can hide 1,000 thoughts, or a handshake carries countless unspoken intentions, identifying who is worthy of trust is not always easy. And this is where the Stoic philosophy can become a compass. Although an ancient ideology, Stoicism still holds true in the modern world, helping us find principles to deal with complex relationships and find ways to protect our inner peace. In this video, we will explore 9 types of untrustworthy people who can disturb your inner peace and learn how to identify them. With each type of person, we will find ways to deal with them so that they do not affect our lives. Before we begin, we would like to thank you for accompanying and supporting our channel. If you are new, do not forget to click the subscribe button to receive the earliest videos and many useful lessons. The first type of person you should not trust: people who gossip about others. These people can be the ones who make you lose trust quickly. They often talk about the weaknesses and mistakes of others and do not hesitate to share them, whether it is a close friend or simply a colleague. It is worth noting that even if they say that someone is their friend, just a few small conflicts, a small disagreement is enough for them to start gossiping, defaming, and even making up stories about that person. Sneaking around, backstabbing, or baseless rumors are the weapons they use to satisfy their anger. For these people, putting others down can simply be a way to soothe their negative emotions, and unfortunately, they will not hesitate to do the same to you if you fall into a similar situation. According to Stoic philosophy, trust is a valuable asset, and placing trust in others must be considered carefully. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Always be careful of the words of others. If they speak ill of someone to you, do not think that they will not do the same to you." Honesty and loyalty cannot be built on a foundation of rumors or fabrications. So do not make the mistake of placing your trust in someone who has a habit of speaking ill of others behind their backs. A person who does not respect others will not respect you. And if you do, you are only putting yourself at risk of being taken advantage of and hurt. The second type of person you should not trust: the constant critic. There are people who are always finding fault with everything you do. Under the guise of honesty, they do not hesitate to express their criticism, making you feel inferior and doubting your own abilities. Their criticism is not constructive, but is intended to hurt your self-esteem, making you feel inadequate, no matter how well you do. They may justify their criticism as helping you improve, but there is a very thin line between giving useful feedback and eroding your self-confidence. Constant criticism can create a toxic environment where instead of being creative and growing, you are constantly on the defensive, worrying about every action and every word to avoid criticism. This will stifle your freedom of thought and action. You will no longer have confidence in your abilities and your worth. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Reject the feeling of hurt and the hurt itself will disappear." This is a powerful reminder from Stoic philosophy, which teaches us not to let unfounded criticism or negative comments from others affect us. Stoic philosophy reminds us to reflect on the source of that criticism and ask ourselves if there is any real value in it. If there is, learn from it and use it to improve yourself. But if it is just baseless words, don't let them dominate your thoughts and actions. Imagine you are working hard to complete an important project. You have put in a lot of effort, but when you receive feedback from your colleagues, instead of praising you, they only focus on small imperfect details. This makes you doubt your abilities and you start to feel a loss of creativity. Remember Marcus Aurelius's words once again: refuse to be hurt and the hurt will disappear. Don't let unconstructive criticism destroy your self-esteem. Analyze the criticism, keep the helpful parts, and ignore the negative parts. You can learn and improve, but you don't have to let criticism overshadow your self-worth. Focus on your own actions and reactions, which you can control, rather than trying to control the opinions or behaviors of others. When you apply this principle, you will maintain peace of mind and continue to grow, even in the face of relentless criticism. The third type of person you should not trust: the superficial friend. They are always at every party, smiling at everyone. But when you really need them, they are never really there. These people may appear friendly and approachable, but when times get tough, they disappear. They only seem to show up when things are going well, and when your life gets challenging, they are not there to support you. I once had a friend who was always cheerful and friendly, but when I faced a big challenge of starting a business that almost failed, he never once listened to me when I wanted to share, never once helped. He was only there in the good times, when things were easy and required no effort or commitment. Stoic philosophy teaches us that genuine relationships are worth many times more than superficial ones. Seneca, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, always emphasized the importance of quality over quantity. He believed that a few close, trusted friends who understood and were willing to support you in all circumstances were far more valuable than a large network of superficial friends. It is important to recognize the early signs of these superficial friends. Enjoy their company when you just need light, non-profound conversation. However, do not invest your emotional energy in them, especially when you need real support. Invest your trust and vulnerability in people who have proven themselves in both good times and bad. Stoic philosophy advises us to seek out friends who reflect our own values, who can provide a reliable and stable presence. Cultivate discernment in your social interactions. This is not only wise but also extremely important for protecting your inner peace. Conversations with superficial friends can be extremely frustrating. They are physically present, but their minds are somewhere far away. It feels like you are talking to a wall, and sometimes they just nod vaguely or respond insincerely. These interactions lack the basic essence of communication, genuine exchange and understanding. And once you realize this, you will see how damaging it is to your emotional health. Protect your emotional health and make sure that the people in your inner circle are genuine. Don't let yourself be fooled by superficial relationships. When you invest in authentic relationships, you will see a huge difference in the quality of your life and your inner peace. The fourth type of person you should not trust: people who lack empathy. Empathy is the ability to share the feelings of others and see things from their perspective. It is this empathy that helps us build harmonious relationships, understanding, and bonding with those around us. However, when you encounter people who lack empathy, you will realize that they cannot put themselves in the shoes of others. These people often lack the ability to understand and care about your feelings, making it easy for them to hurt you without feeling sorry. People who lack empathy can justify their wrongdoings by soothing the pain they cause you. They use your good nature against you, manipulate, and become cunning, cold, calculating. They only care about themselves and their own needs, and your feelings and experiences are not taken into account by them. Conversations with them may revolve around their accomplishments, problems, and opinions, with a complete lack of regard for what you are experiencing. When interacting with people who lack empathy, you will often find that your feelings and experiences are dismissed or even ignored. This is not simply a lack of emotional intelligence, but a fundamental disconnect in recognizing and appreciating the humanity of others. People who lack empathy often leave behind a trail of damaged relationships and conversations filled with conflict and misunderstanding. When you interact with them, you will feel abandoned by their indifference, as if you have no value to them other than to serve their own purposes. Stoic philosophy offers a profound antidote to this way of thinking. Epictetus emphasized the importance of empathy in human ethics. He taught that we should listen and respond to others with kindness and understanding, recognizing that each of us is part of a larger community with our own struggles and triumphs. When faced with people who lack empathy, the Stoics advise us not to respond to their indifference with anger or resentment. Instead, this is an opportunity to practice patience and model empathy as a virtue in all relationships. We do so not because they deserve it, but because it is the right thing to do as a human being. However, the Stoics also teach us that setting boundaries is important to protect our emotional and mental health. Sometimes this means limiting your exposure to people who drain your energy. Communicating with people who lack empathy requires not only compassion, but also the wisdom to recognize when to step in and protect yourself. So we should not put our trust in people who lack empathy. If you are watching the video up to this point, please leave your opinion. Then we move on to the fifth type of person you should never trust, the provocateur. There are people in our lives who are always looking for ways to irritate us, from sarcasm to small actions that can throw us off balance. They are artists at provoking your emotional reactions, knowing exactly how to confuse you and create tense situations. Whether it is subtle criticism, indirect compliments, or mild provocations, they all have the same goal: to make you react, lose control, and entertain your confusion. For these people, every annoyed look, every frustrated sigh is a victory for them, a testament to their ability to manipulate the emotions of others. They will continue to play emotional chess, with the sole goal of keeping you constantly alert and ready for the small but persistent annoyances they create. However, the most important thing that Stoic philosophy teaches us is this: the actions of others cannot upset us. It is our own judgment that determines. As Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not over external events." When we realize this, we discover a powerful mental force that is especially useful when dealing with people who are constantly trying to provoke you. In fact, if you let their provocations affect you, you are the one who gives them control over your emotions. But if you adjust your perception, deciding that their actions will not determine your emotions, you will regain control from them and maintain peace of mind. Let's say you have a colleague who always makes annoying comments in meetings, making it difficult for you to stay calm and feel insecure. Each time you fall into the trap they have set. Remember the teachings of Marcus Aurelius. You have control over your own mind, not the actions of others. Don't let provocateurs manipulate your emotions. When you can see things rationally, they will no longer influence you. Maintain inner peace, realize that you have the power to decide your response, and do not let provocations make you lose your composure. Applying this Stoic philosophy will not only help you maintain peace of mind, but also help you develop the ability to master yourself. Deal with all situations with patience and clarity. The sixth type of person you should never trust, the complainer. There are people who live in a never-ending cycle of problems. They constantly encounter bad situations, but the remarkable thing is that they never try to change them. They do not seek solutions, but instead seek attention and sympathy from others. Their pain, whether real or exaggerated, becomes a tool to attract attention and keep others close. These people, like the eternal victims, thrive on the sympathy and attention that their never-ending problems bring. You may find yourself drawn into their stories of woe, spending time and energy trying to help solve their never-ending problems. But sadly, no matter how hard you try, their dependence on you for help only makes you feel used, and your own needs are ignored or neglected. Stoicism teaches us that we can only control what is within our control. As Epictetus taught, we should care about the things we can change and accept the things we cannot. When dealing with a complainer, it is important to recognize the limits of your influence. You can offer support, but you cannot change their circumstances. Only they can change their lives. Empathy is wise and important, but you also need to practice detachment. Empathize with their pain, but don't let it affect your own emotions. Don't feel responsible for fixing their life. Sometimes it is important to set boundaries. If the chaos in their life starts to intrude on your peace, it may be time to reassess and ask yourself how much time and energy you can continue to devote to this relationship without draining yourself. If you have a friend who is always talking about the problems in their life, but no matter how hard you try to help, they never change. Every time you see them, you are drawn into a spiral of woeful stories. But the feeling that your efforts are not working makes you feel exhausted and unappreciated. Practice empathy, but don't get sucked into their negative spiral. Help where you can, but know when to step back to protect your mental health and not let their problems interfere with the peace in your life. The next type of person you should not trust, the two-faced person. One of the most obvious signs of an untrustworthy person is being two-faced. These people change their personality and attitude depending on who they are with. They can be a completely different person when they are with you than when they are with others. These people are inconsistent, not being true to themselves and to those around them. This may be because they feel ashamed of themselves or they just want to impress others. But regardless of the reason, a person who cannot be true to you is definitely not trustworthy. A two-faced person may smile and talk to you, but as soon as you turn your back, they will talk badly about you behind your back. They become experts at creating a good and friendly image in front of you, but sabotage you when you are not around. This can be confusing and hurtful, especially when you discover that someone you once trusted can betray your trust so easily. Stoicism teaches us that our own integrity and virtue are the most important things. Seneca advised that we should choose our companions wisely, and that it is better to be alone than in bad company. When faced with a two-faced person, Stoicism advises you to stay away from their true nature, as they will only create a toxic environment around you. Their deceitful actions breed distrust, conflict, and insecurity in all relationships. When you discover the deception of a two-faced person, it is natural to feel hurt and angry. However, Stoicism advises you not to react emotionally. Instead, maintain your dignity and moral standards. Deal with betrayal rationally, without stooping to their level. A coworker who is always friendly to you, but then talks badly about you behind your back, damaging your reputation and relationship with your boss. This makes you feel betrayed and lose trust in someone you thought was a friend. Philosopher Seneca advised us, "It is better to be alone than in bad company." Cut off insincere relationships and focus on those who truly support you. When dealing with a two-faced person, it is important not to let their actions affect your integrity and dignity. Protect yourself and maintain relationships based on sincerity and respect. Type 8, people who can't take no. For an answer, one of the types of people you need to stay away from is people who can't take no for an answer. They can be stubborn and obstinate, always trying to force you to agree with them or do what they want. The common trait of these people is that they only care about you when you are useful to them. When you refuse their requests, their attitude will change quickly, and they may start to act cold or even make you feel guilty. This shows that these people do not respect your freedom and will. They do not understand that everyone has the right to decide and choose, and when you refuse them, it is your right. A person who does not accept no from you may not be trustworthy in long-term relationships because they lack respect for other people's feelings and decisions. Additionally, when you say no to their requests, they may react not only with anger, but also by using the information you have shared with them to hurt you. When you do not agree to do what they want, they may start leaking your secrets or feelings to others, making you feel used and betrayed. Stoicism teaches us that no one has the right to hurt our feelings or values just because they did not get what they wanted. Seneca and Epictetus both advise us to maintain boundaries and protect ourselves from these disrespectful people. If you feel that someone cannot take a no, it is important to stand your ground and not allow them to infringe on your autonomy. Respect yourself and your boundaries. If someone cannot take a no, it is a clear sign of disrespect, and you should reconsider your relationship with that person. Remember that you have the right to say no without feeling guilty or pressured. The last type of person we will look at in this video is the psychological manipulator. This is the most difficult type to recognize because these people have the ability to make you feel heard and understood. But in reality, their concern does not come from sincerity. They are people who know how to build a facade of empathy and encouragement. But this is just a strategy to exploit your weaknesses for their own personal gain. At first, they make you feel like a close friend, but then you realize that every word, every gesture of theirs is aimed at controlling you and exploiting information from you. Psychological manipulators often do not just listen to you, but also collect data about you. The things you share will be used as tools to push you to do what they want. They are like chess players in relationships. Every move is calculated to achieve their own goals. In reality, what they do is not to help you, but to elevate their social status or even exploit you to get what they want. Stoicism teaches us to always seek clarity and truth, rather than just chasing comfort or pleasant illusions. Marcus Aurelius advised us to be wary of those around us, and especially those with unclear motives. When communicating with them, don't just listen to their words, but also observe their actions. What they do, how they handle other relationships, and how they respect your boundaries are the real indicators of their character. To deal with psychologically manipulative people, you need to set clear boundaries and only share what is absolutely necessary. Don't let these people control your emotions and thoughts. It is important to slowly distance yourself from their influence and invest in relationships that bring positivity, respect, and mutual support. Marcus Aurelius also said, "Watch their actions, not just listen to their words." Always remember that not everyone is the true friend you think they are, and protect yourself from manipulators. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully, the above sharing will help you identify the types of people you should not trust so that your life will become better and better. If you find the content useful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next meaningful videos. Please click the bell icon to receive notifications as soon as a new video is available. And if you have your own story or way to identify the types of people you should not trust, please share in the comment section below. Let's learn and grow together. See you in the next video.